Welcome to Weeping Willow Homestead and another What We Eat for Dinner in a Week. In these videos, I try to show you how I combine inexpensive Aldi groceries with food that we are blessed with from the food bank to make hopefully well-balanced, well-rounded meals. As a family, we generally eat low carb because my husband and I do for health reasons, and as the sole cook in the house, it's just easier for me to make one meal. But you'll see modifications to that, like me making pasta for my kids or variations on it. So tonight, I have been canning applesauce all late afternoon. I got started way too late. I regret that decision. We got apples off of our trees for the first time. We have lived in our house for almost 6 years. And this is the first year that they have produced well enough to use. They are still awful ugly, bug bitten and misshapen and whatnot, but I'm trying. I managed to get 3 5-gallon buckets off of it, and yeah, I'm trying to get as much food on the shelves as I possibly can. So anyway, I wanted something fairly simple for dinner tonight, so I took about 3 frozen chicken breasts from Aldi, and they were pieces and parts of them, so I would say it was about 3 in total. I put those in the air fryer and cooked them until they were done. Then I chunked them up into like bite-sized pieces, put them in this, sprinkled on I spread on probably a cup of pasta sauce, sprinkled on about a cup of mozzarella cheese, and then threw on some pepperoni, and then I just put this in the oven just long enough to melt the cheese and heat the pasta sauce up. So that was a nice, quick, and easy one because it was something that I could throw some stuff in and then work on the apples for a while, and then throw it in the oven and then work on the apples for a while. So here, I'll show you. Look at my beautiful fingers, and those are after washing them multiple times. Ow, I just touched that hot pan. With that, we got some lettuce from the food bank today, so I cut that up. For the kids', I put some French fried onions and raisins on top. I'm not sure what I'm putting on mine because I can't have either one of those for carb reasons. I will come up with something. That's mine. And then I'll put salad dressing on it as well. So, like I said, a fairly easy dinner, but still filling and delicious. So, that is Monday night. We'll see you tomorrow. It is Tuesday, and we are totally not doing Taco Tuesday because I totally wasn't paying attention to what day of the week it was and had stuff thawed out for something else. Oh well. Maybe we'll do Taco Wednesday. So tonight we are having something that I normally make during the winter and make it into a soup. This is ham, carrot, cauliflower, and broccoli. And I cook the ham in the pan, and it's pretty liquidy because it's just cheap ham. Then I put the carrots in while I'm cutting up the cauliflower. I put the cauliflower in while I'm cutting up the broccoli, and then I put the broccoli in, and that way the things that take longer to steam have longer. And then I put in a little bit of water and put the lid on and steamed it until the veggies were done. Then I added in some cream cheese, some shredded cheddar cheese, some whipping cream, or milk works just fine, just to kind of make like a cheesy sauce, and then a squirt of mustard, which I know sounds weird, but it tastes delicious. Add that to your mac and cheese too. Under that, and I just stirred that all in until it melted. Under that is some orzo pasta from the food pantry. And then we got our first Cherokee purple tomato, our first tomato period today from our garden, and it just happens to be a Cherokee purple, which is one of my favorite. It's an heirloom yummy, delicious variety. So that is dinner for Tuesday night. We'll see you tomorrow. It is Wednesday night, and we are doing something different than I have ever showed you before. And you're gonna go, you're making what? This is a recipe that was taught to me by my midwife, that she called it haystacks. Now, where I'm from, haystacks are a weird cookie thing. Yeah, it's weird. But where she's from, this is haystacks. And what it is it's taco salad but with baked beans instead of taco meat. And I know that sounds weird, but it's really good, and it's a really great one for busy nights, for when it's hot, because we don't even warm the baked beans up. We just do them cold. You can do them warm. But it's, I know. The first time my midwife told me about this, I was like, you put what on it? But it's lettuce, crushed up tortilla chips, baked beans, and then whatever taco normals toppings that you put on. And it's good. I don't know why it's good. It's just good. But like I said, it's a really, really good one for hot days when you don't want to heat up the kitchen. A can of generic baked beans is probably cheaper than a pound of ground. I know it's cheaper than a pound of ground beef at this point. So yeah, take it if you want to try it. Go for it. If you don't, you're not breaking my heart. But it's one that we haven't fixed in a long time because it's not low carb friendly. But my oldest daughter has been begging for haystacks because she loves it. So I made this for the kids tonight. For me, I have some keto air fryer chicken nuggets in the air fryer right now. And then I was canning some green beans yesterday and had a pint jar knot seal. So when the chicken nuggets are done, I'm going to throw those into the air fryer and heat those up. And that's going to be my dinner. I might mix some of this together and do it with some plain pork rinds that we've gotten from the food bank. But yeah, it's a weird one. I know. Don't hate on me for it. It's delicious. You don't have to eat it if you don't want to. So that is dinner for Wednesday night. We'll see you tomorrow. It is Thursday night, and we are having breakfast for dinner. And I'm super excited because we grew a watermelon, y'all. You have no idea how hard it is to grow a watermelon, to get it to ripeness, and to know when it's ripe, because it's so hard to tell. I have tried all of the tricks, the thumping and the curlicue and the veins and the yellow spot on the back, and we always end up harvesting a half-ripe watermelon. So we actually managed to get one. This was, and yes, it's yellow. If you didn't know, yellow watermelon exists, and it's just so pretty. So we had friends of ours give us one of these yellow watermelons that they grew a few years ago, and I saved seed from it and numerous times have tried to grow one, and this year we grew one and it was successful. So super excited about that. Sorry about my silliness there. With that, we are having sausage patties from the food bank, our eggs, and then the orange powdered donuts that we got from the food pantry today. Obviously, my husband and I cannot do this or this because neither one of them is low carb. A few pieces of watermelon are not going to hurt you, but my husband is just quite content to have meat for dinner. So he's also having one of those keto muffins that I made. And then for mine, I'm having sliced tomato because yum tomato. I'm so loving the fresh tomato from the garden because store-bought just doesn't do it. So that is Thursday night. We'll see you tomorrow. It is Friday night, and Friday night at our house means pizza night. Sometimes it is store-bought, sometimes it is homemade, sometimes it's a cross between the two. Very, very rarely do we have takeout pizza, like I'm talking like once a year, because it's so expensive, and I can buy a whole lot of frozen pizzas from Aldi for the cost of one night of pizza, and we have to go get it because they don't deliver it to us. So tonight, the kids' pizza is another one of those Asiago cheese bread from Panera that we got from the food pantry on Monday. So we have 2 Hawaiian with bacon bits and then 1 meat lovers, and the sausage on this is the leftover sausage patty just crumbled up from dinner last night. For my husband and I, to make ours low carb, I did a cheese and egg bread. You're supposed to use it for hot dog or hamburger buns, and I didn't care for it for that, but I do like it for pizza. I'll leave the recipe down in the show notes. It's super easy. It's kind of expensive because it's cheese, mozzarella cheese, Parmesan cheese, and then eggs, but yeah, it works. So for my husband's, I did a meat lovers with the sausage, bacon bits, and pepperoni. And then for mine, I did a caprese, which is tomato, mozzarella. I sprinkled on a whole lot of minced garlic. I'm gonna stink tonight. And then I chopped up about 5 fresh basil leaves from my pathetic herb garden and sprinkled on that. With that, we are going to have air fried green beans. This was a quart of green beans that I canned, and one of them didn't seal, so perfect timing. And then I'm also going to get out the leftover watermelon that we had last night as well, because we still have quite a bit of it. So, and my kids love it. All right, tonight is also the one night a week that we do dessert. I have some of the mini donuts left. I've got the gummy worms. What else? I got some other stuff from the food pantry on Thursday that I'm going to pull out. I think there's a little bit of ice cream left in the freezer. And what I do is I just pull out all of the dessert options and let the kids pick. Sometimes I'll go ahead and make like one of the bagged or boxed mixes of something that we get from the food pantry. I just didn't get that done tonight. It is already 7 o'clock. So that is everything for Friday night. We'll see you tomorrow. All right, so I completely forgot that tonight my husband's work is having a party, so we will not be home for dinner. They're having like a big blowout for kids with slides and hot dogs and, all the junk. So I'm going to show you Saturday morning breakfast instead. So Saturday morning, I always make something big, something fancy, like sourdough pancakes or Dutch baby, or like this morning I did French toast. And part of the reason why I wanted to show you this one is because this meal is extremely cheap, even if you buy all the ingredients. But for us, this meal cost us almost nothing because almost all the ingredients were from the food pantry. So the French toast is, I made up that whole loaf of the Dave's Killer Bread, Raisin the Roof breakfast bread. And to do it, I just mixed up some of our eggs with some milk from the food pantry. Normally I would add vanilla or cinnamon to it, but because the bread was flavored, I just didn't go ahead and do that. But if you're using regular plain bread, I would add a sprinkle of cinnamon and a dash of vanilla into that mix. And then I just cook it on the stove. On top of it, I took 2 cans of peaches from the food pantry. I opened them up, drained one of them, so I left the juice from one, and then I chopped them up in the pan with that juice from one of them, and then brought it to a boil, added cornstarch water to thicken it so it kind of makes it a syrup, and it's still steaming hot. And then the sausage is the leftover sausage patties from breakfast for dinner the other day, and once again, that's from the food pantry. So, like I said, cornstarch and eggs is all I had to provide for this meal, but even if you made it from scratch, buy cheap bread, cheap eggs, a little dash of milk, a couple cans of peaches, which is maybe $1, and I've made enough for all of them for breakfast this morning, and then there's 4 more slices that are still on the griddle that they can come back in and get seconds, or we can save them for breakfast tomorrow. So, all right, so that is our week of dinners, because if you're new here, I don't cook on Sundays. So Sunday morning, the kids get up. I pull out a bunch of like leftover pancakes, leftover French toast, peanut butter, cheese. I just kind of pull out a bunch of different things. I've got muffins in the freezer, whatever fresh fruit or canned fruit we've got on hand. And I let the kids make their own breakfast while I get dressed for church. When we get home, I pull out all of the leftovers from the week from the refrigerator, and once again, I let them pick and choose whatever they want. If it means that they have a plate full of veggies or a plate full of meats or a plate full of carbs, whatever, that's fine. It's one day a week where they're eating junk. Then Sunday for dinner, I go through the cabinets in the refrigerator and I pull out anything that would be what might be considered a charcuterie board. So cheese, crackers, pickles, dried fruits and nuts. I usually buy goat cheese, graham crackers. What else do I pull out? I usually, if we get anything desserty like the chocolate bars that we got from the food pantry, I will pull those out and I'll give them a couple pieces of chocolate as a little sweet treat. But yeah, it's just a bunch of random stuff, and I pull it out and they once again get to pick and choose whatever they want. And I always leave everything out because my 2 big kids go to youth group and don't get home until usually about 8 o'clock. So they eat when they get home, and it's nice because it's light snacky stuff. but they can come back in and get seconds of whatever they want, and I just kind of let them graze for the evening. So, and that gets used up all of those little things like the pistachios and the random boxes of crackers and those kind of things that we get from the food pantry. I like to pull out just those, like I said, those random little bits of stuff, and then it gets used up that way. So that is our week of dinners and one breakfast. I hope you enjoyed this. I'll make sure to put any relevant recipes down in the show notes. But yeah, I hope you have a great day. Goodbye and God bless.